This week I'm giving away a bunch of baby things I don't need anymore. Things like car seats and travel cots, or to my younger cousins who are having babies now. So I'm driving all over Sydney in my Nissan Qashqai Ti. It's the top of the range in the petrol version, and it's a small SUV in competition with the likes of the Honda HR-V and the Mazda CX-3. Here's how it did over my week of family driving. The Qashqai drives really well. It's got a 2-litre engine that is enough to get me all over Sydney, dropping off baby goodies everywhere, and it has enough power to get me up hills quite comfortably. It handles nicely and I felt confident driving it on the road this week. For a small SUV, it's still quite high, so I felt safe on the road as well. The only thing is that even in the top of the range, there is no all-wheel drive option, and for this price, around 38 grand, I would expect all-wheel drive, I think. I found the steering a tiny bit stiff in this car just when you're turning the wheel a lot to get out of a really tight spot, but it's nothing major. Parking was actually perfectly fine because besides the size, which makes everything easier to park, there's a reverse parking camera, which has also been upgraded to include a 360-degree view camera, which just lets you see where you are in space, and I actually find them super helpful. And the fuel efficiency is decent. It's not the best in its class. It's a claimed 6.9 litres per 100 Ks, which puts it somewhere in the middle. Inside looks really good. In this top of the range model, you'll get leather seats, which feel nice, and a leather steering wheel, which is also in this spanky new flat bottom shape, very sporty. It's also got a lovely big sunroof which lets in lots of natural light, but it does only come standard with the top of the range Ti. Plus, you'll get power operated driver's seat and passenger seat. There's a well-designed centre console area with a high gloss finish, which just makes it look premium and really makes me feel when I'm sitting inside it that I'm matching up to all the other cars on the road. The outside looks good too. It's sporty and it's got a really nice shape to it, and it looks quite substantial on the road in size. Some small SUVs can end up looking like hatchbacks, but this one still is high enough to look big. And it's pretty spacious. In some small SUVs like the Hyundai Kona and the Toyota CHR can feel quite squished in, but the Qashqai doesn't feel like that. There's definitely enough space for me and for the person next to me. There's enough room for both my 185cm husband and myself. We've both got enough leg and headroom, and I don't feel cramped or even like I'm in a small SUV. My 2 children, aged 4 and 6, also had enough room in the back seat. There wasn't a heap of space like you would get in a larger SUV, so they weren't climbing around like normal, but they were definitely comfortable. And you can just fit a 3rd child seat in here. It's tight, and I pity the person who has to do the seat belts up for the boosters, but it does fit, which you can't do in every small SUV. In this Ti model, you'll also get a centre armrest, which has 2 cup holders in the back seat. You'll get 2 cup holders in the front seat, plus a bottle holder in each door. You've got a small spot to chuck your keys and your phone in the front, a really deep centre storage bin, 2 pockets on the back of the front seats. But this here little hole is where the air vents should be, but they're not. The boot in the Qashqai is on the larger end for its class. Only the Honda HR-V has a bigger boot, and this is much bigger than the Mazda CX-3s. I could fit a pretty big travel cot plus a baby seat in here. You'll get a pram in here and a full load of groceries, no problem. With all the seats down, the boot opens up quite dramatically. It's really large in here, and you'll be a popular choice for helping people move house. The technology in the Qashqai is a tiny bit disappointing just because it doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You won't get that in an HR-V either, but you'll get it in a Kona. Still, it has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can listen to your music really easily, or your podcasts, or whatever you want to listen to. There's an inbuilt sat-nav with live traffic alerts. Plus, you can turn the sound up really loudly. Good sound system. Safety in the Qashqai is good, but it differs across the range. Every Qashqai will get auto emergency braking, lane departure alerts and collision warnings. But in the top spec Ti that I'm driving, you will also get blind spot monitoring, recross traffic alerts, and park assist, which will actually park the car for you if you come across a particularly tight spot. The Nissan Qashqai is a great car to drive, and it fit my family of 4 really well this week. I felt completely confident on the road, plus it had loads of space for a small SUV, and enough boot space to fit lots of bulky items in to drop off to my family. I gave it a family rating of 7.5 out of 10, taking points off for no all-wheel drive. My children also gave it a 7.5 out of 10. They know a stylish car when they see one. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel or click through to our website.